Cam, 24 years at KPRC, 50 years in the television industry.
48.
48. 48 years in television. When you hear these numbers, what goes through your mind?
I can't believe how many generations of television change I've been through when I look back on it. It really does. I mean, I started when we were shooting film. And I know your eyes go up. You're that old? Yeah. Film to tape and various iterations of tape. So it's been interesting over these years. And of course, people I've worked with for many, many, many years are no longer here. So, yeah.
And your work family is like family to you, I know.
Oh, gosh, yes. I mean, we spend more time here at work than I spend at home. And that's been the way it's been over the whole generation. My whole career it's been that way, which my wife is probably happy about. Poor Debbie, it's going to really be trouble for her.
Because you'll be spending more time together?
More time together, yeah. I've got more honeydews to do probably, more things to be done at her direction. And so.
Okay, well, I have a lot of questions about what you'll be doing after you leave KPRC too. Let's rewind a bit though, because in those 48 years, you really have done it all. Let me run down the list. Sports director, news anchor, executive producer, meteorologist, host of Houston Newsmakers, all those roles in 6 stations in 5 states. Mm-hmm. Am I getting that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could go back at the very beginning of your career and tell a young Khambrel, wow, this guy's going to accomplish all these things, would you believe it?
No, I wouldn't. There was a fair amount of insecurity about what I was going to be able to do. I mean, I was excited about trying to get into the business, but I didn't know what I wanted to do in the business. I just happened to take a sports job because somebody called me and said, hey, there's a sports opening here at the station in Phoenix. So that's why I did that. I didn't have this big plan, and no one had told me that I could do that. There were very few people who looked like me on TV when I got into the business in 1975. So I didn't have any template to follow either. So it was just kind of opening doors that God would open for me, and I'd step through with faith and hope things would work out, and they have so far.
What do you think is the key to your longevity in this industry? Because again, 48 years is a very, very long time, and it seems like you have a willingness to evolve and try new things.
Oh gosh, yeah. Mr. Evolvement, yeah. I think it's been to not burn any bridges, number one. Making sure that as I take on each job and each opportunity, that I treat people the way I want to be treated. And I try to be happy about life. I mean, there were times in my career where I wasn't happy that my contract wasn't being renewed and I had a family to care for. And I just had to go deep into prayer and know that when I got to work, whatever's going to happen, I need to exude good energy, not negative energy. And that's what I've done throughout my career. And so all of these opportunities that came to me came because of, I think, positive vibes and being in the right place at the right time. Clearly, that's a part of it. If I hadn't been in Miami when Hurricane Andrew hit and they needed somebody to be on the set to do coverage while the hurricane was coming in, this would not have happened. Both our main anchors were out of town. And to call the sports director to come sit on the set during Andrew. That's how I started the news journey. And then news journey from Miami to here, and then to management, to meteorology. So
the perfect storm.
Perfect storm.
The perfect storm that worked out.
Yeah.
You mentioned that when you started in this industry in 1975, there weren't a lot of people on television who looked like you.
Right.
And I know over the course of your career, you've not only seen the industry change, but you've seen the world change as well.
There have been so many changes in so many different ways. And in many ways, there have not been changes. We've seen a lot more faces and people like me in positions on TV. We still don't see as many behind the scenes making decisions about what goes on. And so that brings about the editorial piece about what we're covering. If the people who are covering our communities don't look like us, or people who are groups of people who are covering our communities don't look like us, they don't really have the same kind of understanding. We've seen an evolution through the years of stations wanting to be more empathetic. They want to make sure that they cover the communities properly. I think we've done a good job of that here, and really making the effort to go into the communities and be a part of it. But I'm concerned about what our industry is doing now as we try to evolve from this television station kind of industry to the streaming industry that we're going to be. I mean, it's going to be a challenge. We've gone through all these different changes, you know, from film to tape to different kind of tape to digital to now streaming and now social media, phones. There's just so much going on.
It does seem like there are so many pipelines of information, and because everyone always has a phone or two phones in their hands, the sources of information, I think, can sometimes cloud the truth. Is that your concern?
Absolutely, because there are people out there who are still talking about the election was not, the election was stolen, which is total BS. We know that now. Anybody who has a brain knows that it wasn't. I mean, somebody's going to get upset about that. Somebody's out there who's thinking, well, it was stolen. BS. It wasn't. And people who, they should know better. And for some reason, people are holding on to these lies as if they are truths. And so the truth becomes a problem because you don't want to believe what the truth is. Now we have somebody saying we need to blur the faces of the people who are entering the Capitol on January 6th because we don't want the Department of Justice to know who they are. I'm sorry. We don't want to know who people are who are breaking into the Capitol to be a part of insurrection. Who does that? Who thinks that? That's why I think there's so many problems that is going on. And our business, which should be on the forefront of solving it, is not, because we've got people in our business who really aren't journalists, who are like parroting stuff. And so they got to parrot the truth if they're going to do things. So that's one of the frustrations of my life. I didn't mean to go into that tangent, but
I can understand. I sometimes wonder 10 or 20 years from now, how will we look back and see this moment in time when things politically have become so toxic and when we're not just dealing with misinformation, but there's disinformation out there? You know, the conspiracy theorists are alive and well for sure. When you look back over the last few decades and the number of stories you've covered, from Hurricane Andrew to elections, obviously on Newsmakers, you are interviewing the movers and the shakers of this city. What are the things that really stand out to you? And I know that's a tough thing to really distill down because you have covered so many stories and issues.
Wow. Through the years here at this station over the last 24 years, it's been incredible being able to talk to the leadership of the community. And the one common denominator is that they all have this passion for wanting this community to be better. That's what stands out more than anything else. I mean, everybody has this passion. It wasn't all politics, of course. There were people who, the educators that I met, Dr. Ruth Simmons, who was amazing, and Simone Biles, and all these people who we've had a chance to interact with. But there's this common denomination of goodness within the city of Houston where everybody wants our city to be better. And you know that in times of crisis, you cannot, you got to fight your way to get through to help people because there's so many other people who are trying to help. That's what's unique about this city, and that's what stands out, I think, among all the interviews I've done through the years here at this station and being as an anchor here covering events. That is really what stood out to me as being the beacon of what this city is. People know, once they get here, they know, whoa, I didn't know Houston was like this. It's just an amazing place.
Speaking of bettering the community and helping out in the community, you have given so much of your personal time outside of work and television, everything you do every day. You are out in the community. Big brothers, big sisters of Houston, March of Dimes, Susan G. Komen. I remember the first time when I had just started at KPRC, you were emceeing that event. What is it that continues to draw you to supporting these community events?
Well, first of all of this is a result of my parents. My mother and father were tremendous givers to the community. They believed in that, and I am just carrying on what they would have done if they were alive. My mother was an amazing woman. I was a mama's boy, by the way, and I was a daddy's boy, too. And so that's what has motivated me to always get out there. I always chuckle when somebody in our industry says, I've been giving back to the community by emceeing an event. That's not really giving back. That's doing something. But giving back means rolling up your sleeves, helping to make decisions about some of these nonprofits that are doing things in the community, whether it be the YMCA or Big Brothers Big Sisters you talked about, or the AD Players or the JCC or the Holocaust Museum. Those are organizations that I either are involved in or have been involved in. And they all are big, big parts of this community. And when you get into there and you get to see the people who are making decisions about what makes this community so great, it invigorates you to want to do more. The only thing that keeps you from doing more is the calendar and time and all those kinds of things.
Only 24 hours in a day.
24 hours, thank goodness.
You have been so busy on the air in the community. You've also been very busy behind the scenes at home. Recently, you became a grandfather.
Again.
And I know this is your pride and joy. Tell our viewers just how much it has meant to you to enter this new chapter in life.
You know, I have 3 daughters. I have a stepdaughter who I don't call stepdaughter, but she's my oldest daughter. She has a 20-year-old and she has a 14-year-old, and I have now Riel will be 4 years old on December 26th, and Ronnie will be 2 years, would turn 2 back in September. And with all of these kids, I've run out of time being able to see them. And so one of the reasons that I'm stepping away now is because that time is so valuable and you don't get it back. And my 14-year-old, he's getting to middle school now. His voice has changed. I got to spend more time with this guy. And so all of this is what's driving me to them away from this business, rather than skirting around somebody else's vacation time. I don't have to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. So they're so amazing. Papa, when do you come to see us? Coming soon, honey. Coming soon.
I'm sure they're all so excited. And I know you joked about your wife wondering what it's going to be like when y'all can spend more time together. Yeah. I know she's looking forward to this as well.
I hope so. I mean, we've been together 44 years, and she's put up with me for that long. I think she can put up with me for a few more, right?
You were telling me during commercial break that when you were driving to work this morning, you were thinking about all the number of times, 24 years at KPRC, you have driven out of your subdivision, you've driven to KPRC, you've come through that front gate, and when you add up all of those years, that's thousands of commutes. Yeah. That's all changing.
That's all changing, and thankfully it is. As I look forward to retirement, money's not going to be quite the same, so I'll be traveling less, I'll be spending less in money, and that's a good thing. That's what I'm told. So one time I actually subtracted, okay, vacation time away, how much time would it be? And there are thousands of times, and the last time that I pull out of the parking lot is probably going to be a little bit different for me, as I'll be able to come back to the visitor's entrance, but not to the employee entrance anymore. So it's going to be different.
Is there a little bit of trepidation at all? Do you feel like you're entering into the land of the unknown as your daily routine will change?
Maybe a little bit, but the first 3 months at least, my plan is to sleep late and go to bed early and take care of myself health-wise. Eat better, sleep better. I've got some back issues I need to work on. And so that's what I'm going to focus on. So it's an unknown, but it's an unknown that I'm looking forward to.
What about the bow tie collection? Will you continue wearing as many bow ties?
Well, I won't wear as many, but I'll keep them. And I thought about maybe giving some away to some charities if they want them. But you know, who would want my bow ties?
Are you kidding?
I can't imagine.
Cam, the bow tie is your signature look. How did it all begin anyway?
Well, it began because one night when I was working the weekend weather shift, and I had been emceeing an event. Shocking. And I couldn't change from a formal attire, and I had this bow tie, and after that night, I got all these calls, mostly women, who said, "You look great." And I said, "You know what? I'm going to do this again tomorrow." And so I started doing it. Then my general manager came in about 2 weeks after I was doing that. He says, "Oh, you're going to continue to do that bow tie thing?" And I said, "Yeah, probably." He just walked out, and I kept doing it, and it just caught on. So.
It works for you. It works very, very well. I have seen Cam, by the way, around the building once or twice in sweatpants. Will that be your chosen attire, do you think, moving forward?
Many days, yes. I've had people stop me in Home Depot saying, "Where's your bow tie?" Really? In Home Depot? Shouldn't I be able to not wear the bow tie? But and I'm going to do that less and less. But I'm still going to do things in the community. I'm not leaving Houston. I love this community. I don't plan to leave. I'll be leaving, to go places, maybe spend more time with my kids and that sort of thing. But I'll be here and being in the community in a different way, just not being at KPRC 5 days a week.
Is there anything else you want to tell our viewers before you sneak out of the building, Khambrel?
I asked if I could just get a bag lunch and just walk out the back door and not be, get all the attention, because that's not what I do. I'm uncomfortable with that. But this has just been an amazing community from the very beginning. In May of 1999, when I first got here, and neighbor kids came to the door to find out if we had kids there, and neighbors brought pies and cakes and stuff like that, and I said, wow, this is good. And from that moment on, I felt, okay, this is where I need to be. And it's been a wonderful experience, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the next experience is going to be like. I know it's going to be wonderful because the citizens of Houston in this community are here, and they're going to make it a beautiful experience.
Well, Khambrel Marshall, you are family. You always will be. Yeah. You're a Houstonian. And over the years, I just want to thank you for being a friend, for being a coworker. I know a lot of people in the building would agree with me. You have been a total professional, a coach, a mentor, all of the things, and no one's going to be able to fill your shoes. We will miss you every day, but I hope you will come back and visit.
Oh, absolutely. I hope the guards will remember my name.
They will. Just wear the bow tie. Yeah. Can't miss you.
Yeah.
Cam, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.